I would tell people I didn't take my Percocets and Oxycontin to get high. I took it to stop my brain.
Get away from yourself.
I couldn't, my brain, that's what OCD does. Is it, you're 24/7.
Right.
And I just wanted to stop.
Yep.
I wanted to relax. I didn't want to think about anything.
Yeah.
But that's
Disassociate a little bit.
exactly. But the problem there is I'm avoiding
Yeah.
the actual issue.
Yeah.
So for all of those years, yes, I knew I had mental health challenges. So that's all that was doing, was masking it. And it
Yes.
wasn't until the last year and a half or so where I just said, no, it's time to get to the root cause. And I think that is the biggest kind of story that I want to push is whether you're 20 years old, 46 years old, it's never too late
Yeah.
to really get the help that you need and
Right.
find those things that really feed your soul.
Hi, friends. It's your host, Meg.
And Amanda. Welcome to Wake Up and Listen, the podcast where two friends get real about purpose, intuition, and laughing through the chaos.
If you're into personal growth with a side of giggles and maybe an existential breakthrough or two, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. It's time to
Wake up and listen.
Well, so this is crazy.
It is
that
crazy.
we're all sitting here
You guys
because
are like my
I know you're gonna have the
babies.
answer for this.
10
How-
years later.
Oh yeah, 10 years. We just figured this out because rest in peace, Jimmy,
Yep.
the man that started it
Yes.
all. We all met at Mully's, Mulligan's Island in Rhode Island, and I was telling Amanda, it's interesting. I think this moment is gonna solidify like the whole silver string theory
Yes.
for me,
Yes.
or one of many experiences in my last year that I just see how intentional life's like unfolding is. And it's crazy because when we all left Mulligan's 10 years ago, once a couple years like went by and we kind of like went and did our own things, it was like, okay, like no hard feelings, but that seemed like a seasonal relationship. Like we were there for each other during that time, and then like we just kind of moved on and did our own thing. And then I have this like new understanding, especially after this like past year, that life is so intentional, and I'm in the space where like I am like, who am I being in this world? And I feel like we've all kind of reached that understanding, but in completely different ways. And so I think it's completely on purpose that we're like sitting at this table today.
Yeah, and if we didn't meet there, we couldn't have had this conversation today. It's like these people are planted for something else.
Yep.
Like, yes, we had that great time at Mulligan's, but there was more coming.
Yeah, we had
Exactly.
no
See it
freaking
yet.
clue.
No, I think there's this whole idea of life is nothing more than a bunch of rooms, and who you are in those rooms with really equal out to your life. And we had an awesome time of being in the same room together.
Yeah.
And now here we are. You guys are grown. I'm old, and here we go. Here we go. You guys
Same,
are just
same, but
babies.
different.
Oh, you guys were just babies. You were just
Babies.
babies.
16.
Yeah, 16, 17 or so.
What
I
a
think when I
crazy
hired
year.
you, and here we are.
Yep.
and so
Jay's
proud.
biggest crash course to being a dad to two girls.
That's
I'll tell you
it.
that right now.
That's
Oh
it.
my God.
How many
all
daughters
girls.
did you have
I
there?
have two. I have two daughters now
Yeah.
in real life, but I
Yes.
must have had 30, 40 a
Yes,
year.
lots
Yep.
of daughters
Yes.
back then.
Yes.
And so many different personalities.
You learn to juggle it all.
You guys
Oh my God,
prepared
we
me.
were arguing with each other. Like, he had to break up so many things. I was one of them.
I don't have time for this bullshit today,
That's-
girls. Come on.
It would go in this ear and out the other.
Okay,
Yeah.
Amanda,
Yeah.
step out of the shed
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah. No, and it's so funny. I mean, you guys, I've obviously followed you guys both, even though we've gone our separate ways
Yeah.
and stuff. We still stayed in contact, and I
Right.
think maybe that's a good thing of social media.
I was just
you
going
know.
to say
Yeah,
that.
that's the
Social
one
media is not a great place,
positive.
believe
Yeah.
me, but the
you use it
positive,
right.
that's correct, is to watch the journey that I think we're
Yeah.
all going on.
Right.
And,
Who's having kids, getting
Yep.
married.
yep, and you two have been on this awesome journey, I think, in the last few years, but in the last year specifically, and a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
I think, and again, that's how we're all brought back
Right.
together.
The synchronicities are just hard to deny.
Absolutely.
So it's pretty cool.
So today's topic is really going to be a vulnerable one, an informative one. That's the correct information around mental health, because there's so many things out there that give the wrong definition to what someone's going through. And I think when we hear the same things over and over, we start to believe it. But when you can hear specific experiences, you really get to understand what's
Exactly.
in someone's head and what they're going through, as opposed to what they're showing you.
Right.
Exactly.
And Jay is, you say undiagnosed, but
I am officially clinically
okay. So you went
diagnosed
the
now.
38 years. You said undiagnosed.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, with OCD. So I think this conversation is going to really help people to understand the differences that everyone goes through with the same diagnosis, but it's their own journey on that.
Exactly.
So when did you first realize that's what you were experiencing?
So I was probably 8 years old when I started to really. I didn't understand it at the time, obviously, but knew something wasn't right. And really, at 8 years old, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Back to the Future, too.
Yeah.
And there's that great kind of scene where they're in the garage after they went back to 1985, but it's a different universe of 1980. And they show, they're driving, they're like, okay, this is where we came, but really we're down here in this, like, weird universe right now. At 8 years old, that's what I did. I went down and I created my own world.
Okay.
And that's sort of, I didn't know what OCD was then. I know a lot more about it now that I've been clinically diagnosed with it. But I've lived 38 of my 46 years in that
It's
world.
like alternate
down
universe.
there. Exactly.
Thing,
And
yeah.
over the last year or two, through healing and really, really strong therapy and support, starting to come up.
Yes.
The problem, and we'll talk about it, is how strong OCD is. OCD is designed to protect you. That's what it's trying to do. So every time I go up, it's saying, no, we're going to knock you back down because we don't want you to get hurt.
Yes.
But it's a false narrative that's going through your head. And
Right.
that's really what OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder,
Yeah.
is. And I've just learned so much about it. So it is a vulnerable story.
Yeah.
I think it's also a story that's never too late to
Right.
kind of get your
Absolutely
shit
not.
together
Yeah.
and
Right.
really figure out what's going on
Right.
and who's the real you. I think
Yes.
that's the key.
Right. Getting
is
rooted in yourself
You
again.
coming up and you're like, ooh, is this really who I
Yeah, like,
am?
Right.
Right.
Because that, when you're experiencing that inner world that you said, that universe you created for
Yep.
yourself, it's now creating a new reality.
Exactly.
Right.
And like, I don't have to identify with who I've been.
Correct.
I can be
Correct.
wherever I want to be and
Right.
whoever I want to be from this point on.
Yep.
And I think a big piece that when you're speaking on the protection, ego does the same thing.
Yep.
It keeps you safe.
Yep.
But that definition of safe and comfort zone, it's not reality. It's
That's
an
right.
inner reality that feels so real that like anybody telling you different, like, no,
That's right.
that does not feel right.
Right.
But it's that disconnect of like what it's telling you and what is. And that's a hard thing to decipher because your inner world is very loud.
That's right.
Yes.
And that is, and we'll definitely talk about it, the specific therapy that you go through for OCD, which I've been doing for the last year now.
Yeah.
It wants to fake you out.
Yes.
It wants you to think exactly the story it's telling you. And you do it once, you do it twice, you do it 3 times, and the brain is a strong muscle, and it's
Right.
going to get stronger and stronger. So you're enabling it
Right.
Yes.
through your compulsions,
Yes.
and you don't even realize you're doing it
Yeah.
until you get to this, no, I want to live a little bit more, and I
Right.
want to, that's when you sit back, and the double-edged sword there is, I just wasted half of my life.
Isn't that crazy?
It's
Yeah.
nuts. It's nuts. So then you feel bad about yourself.
Right.
You
You go through this whole other
start,
spiral.
yeah, and you go through a
Yeah.
whole other spiral, which is another one of my compulsions, that I have. So it's hard. It's a constant battle, and I, like I said, we'll talk more about it. And what I was saying to you guys earlier, it's like having a broken fire alarm in your brain 24/7.
Yeah.
It's going off, and you don't know if there's really a fire
Right.
or if it's just messing with you.
Yeah.
But your brain can't differentiate between the two.
Right.
So OCD is like having a massive tug-of-war game going on in your brain where you're like, okay, this is not practical. This is not realistic. I
Right.
know it's not, but I'm going to give in to my compulsions anyways
Yes.
because it's going to make me feel better.
So I'm telling you, this is going to be so enlightening for me, Jay. I'm really grateful that you're here. I don't know if this is relatable, but something that I experience often is, this is a silly example, but
nothing
I was
Nothing
with
is,
OCD, especially with OCD. It's like
OCD.
you
I've
might have
heard
to
and
tap
seen it
before
all.
you
okay,
stand
So
up.
all right.
please.
So I trimmed my hedges after work one day because who has time to do it any other time? You know, you're just like trying to make it all work. And I left the hedge trimmers on the lawn. Josh and I sit on the porch every morning. I happened to notice them on the ground, so I was like, I'll worry about picking those up like when we go back inside or whatever. I had forgotten. I remembered at like 10:30 at night, just as I was going upstairs to go to bed. And in that moment, because I remembered, I was like, okay, like the two ways this can pan out is I go to bed, like no one touches them and it's fine. Or if I leave them, that's, every moment's a choice, like that's my thing. If I leave them, are like psychotic neighbors or something can grab those and come in here and fucking murder my whole family. So I have to go out there at 10:30 at night and pick up those hedge trimmers. Of course I did.
Okay. So
I'm not taking that chance.
So the creme de la creme of OCD therapy is what's known as ERP, or OCD treatment is ERP therapy, and it's exposure response prevention.
Okay.
That would be an exposure right there, to sit in the discomfort in bed at 10:30 at night, knowing...
Can't do it, they're going to murder me.
Now,
My mind will go wild.
I did that for 9 weeks straight, for 3 hours a day for 9 weeks, and I do it now weekly. And what it's doing, so what ERP does is it measures what's known as SUDS. It's subjective units of distress.
I love this shit. Thank
you
so much.
The distress that you
things.
were feeling in that moment, you gave in to whatever it is that was. And I'm not saying OCD or whatever. You gave in, and I'm not saying that's good or bad.
Right.
But
it's just data.
You do that over and over. And what the brain is telling you is a story of the neighbor's going to take them, going to break into your house, they're going to hurt your family. It's going to be your fault, and that's going to be on your brain constantly.
You just hit that mark so hard because that is where I give in. Because I don't want to feel that remorse and regret of I knew I should have.
Right.
I'll turn around. I'll be halfway out of my neighborhood, and I'll turn around and be like, did I lock the door? And I will turn around.
Yeah, same.
Sometimes I'm able to be like, wait a minute, walk through it. Yes, you did. And if not, it's okay. Yeah. And sometimes I give in. Sometimes it's like, I don't even want to worry about this the whole time I'm out, so I'm just going to go.
Right.
And that's what OCD does. And again, I'm not saying that for me, and I'll speak only for me, it grabs you by the neck and just strangles you. And it will try everything under the sun to get you to give in. So if you're not giving in right away, it's going to retreat. It will remorph into something else. And what OCD does is it latches on to the things you care about the most. So for me, it's work and family. And so there are so many different levels of OCD. Right. Obviously, we think OCD, we're going to wash our hands 24/7 and we're going to lock doors. Or we're going to make sure things are in orderly fashion. And that's a part of it. That's symmetry OCD. That is a little harm OCD. That's contamination OCD. And I've been able to be in program with people with all of those. But it's a piece of it. Right. Really what it is the pure torture that is going on in that person's brain in that moment.
It's debilitating. I will find myself just standing in the middle of the kitchen sometimes.
Stuck.
I had one of my, and I've done so much better now through my exposures, is that when I went to bed at night, having to go the same routine across my house, making sure doors were locked, lights were off, and I would get to the light to my front door, could visualize and see it was off. Could look out the window, it was off. My brain is telling me it's not off.
You gotta touch it.
You're touching it, and you're holding
Shit, Jay! God damn it!
And you're holding it down. And you're holding it down, and you're paralyzed because what it's doing, it has nothing to do with the fucking light. It's everything to do with the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, or what ifs. What if I leave that on? My house could catch on fire. My house catches on fire, I could kill my family. If we get out, that's fine, but then I don't have a house, and now we're homeless. If we're homeless, I don't have any money.
Wow,
if I don't have any money,
hitting real hard right now.
But this is what your brain goes through. Now take that and let's add some layers to it. So I have perfection OCD. If it's not done perfect, then so you're hedging, the cutting the hedges. I would be sitting on the porch no, that's not right. And I
Yep.
would get up and go and redo it again,
Yep.
and redo it again, and redo it again, to the point where
There's
you
no more
you beat the
heads
shit out of the
on.
whole thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Then you're mad at yourself because you ruined it.
Exactly. Then you rip it out, and then
Yeah.
you start all over again. Okay. So
Man, I don't know.
Again,
what
I
we're
will
gonna
not.
get to with
That
this
I won't.
conversation.
I won't stick with a label for myself
No.
because that doesn't
Yeah.
work for me
Yeah.
specifically.
Yep.
But it's
yep.
awareness. Well, so one thing too with this channel that is like my big hope and dream is that like social media has separated us so much because of the whole ease of comparison.
Yep.
However, what we need to learn with like having access to so many human perspectives is like you don't necessarily need a doctor. Like there is someone out there that's experiencing something that you're experiencing. And I think the human perspective is so powerful. And if we just took a second, instead of fucking capturing the video of that person breaking their leg in the middle of the street and going over there, and like maybe you had an experience where you broke your leg and you're like, okay, like this is really scary right now. This hurts like a bitch, but you're going to get through this. It's a broken leg. Like empathize with each other instead of just going viral about it. You know what I mean?
Yes, and you said something about kicking yourself after those 38 years, but that happened so you could help the other
Exactly.
people
Right, absolutely.
that are
agree.
starting young. Like
I agree.
I thought the same thing about my suicidal thoughts. Like I spent so much of my life wanting to end my life, but I'm like, and then I would regret it. Like, oh my God, one day I'm gonna get sick and I'm gonna be so mad that I spent so much time. Like, and I would have this anxiety of like, what if I get cancer one day and then I actually have a reason to like leave the earth, and then I'm gonna be regretful that while I was healthy I wasn't. And it's like, no, like I'm gonna help the people now that are going through this, and they don't have to wait 30 years to fix it.
Absolutely. And it's again, I can sit here and say I wish I had done this before. I think we can say that about everything.
Right.
I will say with OCD, yes, that peer-to-peer is very helpful. The problem, one of the things that OCD thrives on is reassurance. So we have to be very, very careful that we're not reassuring each other.
Yes.
Because
enabling more.
Exactly.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's why avoidance, reassurance, mental reviews, these are things that I would do, and I would seek it out. Let me go talk to Amanda, and she's just going to tell me it's going to be okay. Jay, you've done this before. Well, that's what OCD wants to hear.
Yeah. Okay.
But you've got to put yourself in those situations.
Got it. Okay.
So that's what the SUDs, the subjective, that's why it's subjective. So you could be in an exposure, be like, easy peasy. I can do this, nothing flat.
Right.
For me, it's setting me off to a level 10 because it's hitting on something internally.
Right.
Putting yourself in those situations with, and I go through, I had talk therapy for years, and I had to leave my talk therapist recently to go back to a one-on-one ERP therapist because she was, and I love her dearly, she was really reassuring me.
Okay.
And she knew that. And that's why she's like, no, you've got to get back into your exposures again. And exposures are fucking scary.
Yeah.
I'll go into an exposure. Okay, Jay, what's your SUD? 5, 6. Okay. Do it. Here we go. And like last week, I was watching a video of a kid being kidnapped in front of their house.
Ugh.
Because that's one of my biggest fears is my kids
Yeah.
are going to be kidnapped, raped, and murdered.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there watching a 6-year-old girl just being kidnapped right in front of her house. And my therapist is, okay, where are your SUDs now? I'm at a 7.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple minutes later, where are your SUDs now? I'm at about a 9.
Yeah.
But we need that data
Okay.
to say, okay, now we're going to change the exposure a little bit and maybe go a little bit deeper with you.
Okay.
The goal is to sit in that discomfort and
Right.
see how you react so you're not doing your compulsions.
Right.
So that's the whole rewiring part.
Okay.
Exactly. That is the
Wow.
rewiring I've been going through for the last year.
So with that therapy, is the talk through of that like when you're peaking? Are you then talking through like this is just a video, this is not reality?
Nope, that's reassurance.
Oh,
That's
okay.
reassurance because we can't be
It's
sure.
just sitting in it.
We can't be sure. Is there a chance
Oh.
my kids are going to be kidnapped? Yes, there is.
There's always a possibility.
There's
yeah.
always a possibility. But if you're sitting back saying, okay, Jay, okay, that was only a video. That was only a video. You're reassuring. What you're trying to do is tell your brain, calm down. It's just a video. It's not going to happen. So that's why ERP therapy. So I don't hold back. I was in Butler for 9 weeks. I started in January. I did Monday through Thursday, 3 hours a day of ERP therapy.
Wow. Okay.
So you talk about
just sitting in that for 3
mentally
hours.
Oh my
exhausted.
God, yeah.
And you're with 10 other, I was with 10 other people. And we would have exposure time every day.
Yeah.
We all had our exposures. We'd have to share what our exposures were.
Mm-hmm.
And then for 45 minutes, that's what we would do.
Wow.
And we would sit there and we would do it. And we would prove to ourselves you can do hard things.
That's
two-
one of my mantras. I love
Two
it.
things can be true at the same time. I can be
Yes.
scared shitless and proud of myself.
Yeah.
But what it did was I think it really helped with that taboo of OCD. That I was with other people who had different types of it, had just like me, and we were all prisoners in our own brains. And to finally be able to talk with people and to sit
Right.
back and not feel like a lunatic or,
Yeah.
you know, I've had a lot of people in my life kind of just think I'm a prick or I don't want to talk or I don't. It's no, I would do anything for you. I see the world differently. I think very, very differently.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is things that happened to me as a kid that I just said, I'm going to protect myself. And that's what OCD did for me. So it did its job.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
But now I'm beginning to learn there's this next phase.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's never too late to get this help. You know, I left the program in March, I think it was. It was amazing. Like, completely different person.
Yeah.
And even, you know, my wife Beth was like, I don't know where you came from, but I love this version of you.
That's awesome.
You
Shout
know,
out to Beth
yeah.
also. Partners, a
So
truly supportive partner that allows you to just be who you need to be every single day.
Exactly.
Like, makes all the difference.
Yeah.
So shout out to the spouses.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
We love you guys.
you don't need help being mean to yourself.
Right.
Because it's like
Yeah.
I'm already in there doing that.
Yeah.
So just hold the space so I can come out of it.
Exactly.
Don't
And-
try to fix me.
Yep. And I would, and one of the things I think with spouses with OCD, I mean, kudos to them because it's really
It's hard. Yeah.
It's hard because they may see the world, you know, from reality,
right.
but my brain is telling me it's something different.
Yeah.
So there'll be times where I'll be very worked up and she'll be like, is that J or is that OCD?
Okay.
Because that's one of the things you have to do is you have to disassociate the OCD from your
Tiffany.
true self.
Yes. Yeah, you're
I
Tiffany.
mean my mean girl Tiffany.
Okay.
I'm like,
I
sorry,
forgot what my
Tiffany's being a
name
bitch.
was.
This has nothing to do with
Yep.
you. Like,
Yeah.
I just separating it makes it like not identify.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not me. It's just what I'm doing, like going through right now.
Right.
Yep. And I see it as that is the part of my brain that wants to control me. And I'm telling it to fuck off.
Yep.
You're not-
Politely fuck off.
Yeah, you're not doing this. But that's what OCD, it's so sophisticated. It knows you better than you know you.
Yeah.
And that's why in March, I told it to screw, bought a brand new house, which was one of my biggest exposures ever. I sat there actually looking at the purchase and sales agreement for 45 minutes,
Yeah.
listening to loop tapes of my own voice saying
Yeah.
I may make a decision that could harm my family. And that was my exposure.
Ah.
Did really, really well with it. And then all of a sudden, in June, July, it was like the world came crashing down again. And I relapsed. That's what it was. It was a relapse. And I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm a recovering opioid user. Just like addicts, mental health, you can relapse. And what it did was it came back stronger. It came back even smarter and said, all right, you don't like the way I'm looking right now? Guess what? We're going to do it this way. And started not eating again, trigger finger, forgetting. These are my signs that I know I'm close to a breakdown.
Yeah.
And then that's what led me to reach out to the people in the program. They got me connected with an amazing ERP therapist. Mike is amazing. And then my psychiatrist, she's amazing. So I have this team now
Yeah.
that tag teams for
That's
me.
awesome. Yeah.
But that's what OCD does is it tries to get you to see the vision of the world that it wants you to see. But it's doing it to protect you.
Right.
But that's a false narrative.
Yeah. It's,
almost-
such a mind fuck.
Yeah,
It is a mind
same
fuck.
thing
That's
as,
exactly what it is.
The addiction too is like that doesn't go away; it just changes.
Right. And more.
So until you get to the root and like
Big.
know your signs, that's a huge thing to know when you're starting to go into that
Yes.
space again. and stop it there versus let it spiral and then try to pull yourself out of the muck, because that's way harder than to be like, all right, I'm starting to get there a little bit more every day, and a little bit of the thoughts again getting coming back in, and stopping it right there, and then being like, all right, I need my therapist 2 times a week now, or whatever it is. You can adjust, and you have control. That's not the OCD. It's you making choices for yourself.
Right, intentional living, and it's
and,
so hard.
And I think with the addiction and the drugs and the alcohol, we never were addressing the real root cause.
You're self-medicating.
Exactly. You were numbing. And I would tell people, I didn't take my Percocets and Oxycontin to get high. I took it to stop my brain.
Get away from yourself.
I couldn't, my brain, that's what OCD does. You're 24/7.
Right.
And I just wanted to stop. I wanted to relax. I didn't want to think about anything.
Yeah.
But
disassociate a little bit.
Exactly. But the problem there is I'm avoiding the actual issue. So for all of those years, yes, I knew I had mental health challenges, and I have there's actually, it's called OCPD, obsessive compulsive personality disorder, which is like an offshoot, which I have anxiety, I have depression, I actually have a form of bipolar 3 as well. So that's all that was doing, was masking it. And it wasn't until the last year and a half or so where I just said, no, it's time to get to the root cause. And I think that is the biggest kind of story that I want to push, is whether you're 20 years old, 46 years old, it's never too late to really get the help that you need and find those things that really feed your soul.
Yeah, can we get into what really, because we had talked before this about like your job, and when your ego is not there anymore, it's not fulfilling. Because like for the salon, for me, I hated myself so much that when I got I'm like, I own a business. Like, look at me.
Very
I'm
successful
doing this.
And
maybe.
And I was like, I'm not happy anymore.
Right.
So,
maybe dive into some of your successes, because you have the one that I remember is that top 40 list. That was like a huge recognition.
I don't know this one.
No.
I have that. Yeah, it's an award somewhere on one of my.
But then, like, dive into your perspective that you were talking about.
Yeah, no, I mean, so I've been in the education field for 23 years now. I have worked at the highest levels of education in the country with, U.S. Department of Ed projects, and I've been 40 to the 50 states. I've gotten to work everywhere. Gotten to learn alongside the trailblazers in ed reform and redesign. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing in my 20s to be able to do that. I did my whole career backwards. Typically you get that pension right away, and then you do the fun stuff in like your 50s or whatever. But I got to do that first, and then for the last 10 years, I've been working in a school district here in Rhode Island, and I love it. Again, it's you're definitely having an impact, in a way. But yeah, I mean, I've given keynotes, I've won awards, I've written books, I've written articles, I've been seen as one of the experts in talent strategy, and yeah, I mean, it's good. And I do my job.
And you do it well.
And I do it well. That's where OCD comes in really well.
Yes. This is where I'm excited to talk about, because I totally feel that with my career shift. Same thing. Did the 10 years as an entrepreneur. Super fun. Loved every moment. But I was ignoring the parts of my life that were not aligned.
Exactly.
And I was like, this is unrealistic for what we want. So I need to change something. And it might not be the fun and exciting option, but I know these are my strengths, so I'm going to lean into those. And like, I know I can be good at this, but it's not going to be that fun, exciting thing.
I mean, and I say this to people all the time, I can see the playing field before the players even get on it. That's the strategist.
Read in the room.
Yeah, I can. They call it floor vision of a point guard coming up the court. Harvard Business News actually did a really cool article about a month or two ago on it. I can tell you exactly what they're going to do, and I can do that in my professional life. So whether it's writing something or, they call me the spin doctor, like, how do we justify this? All right, this is how we're going to do it. This is who we're going to go talk to. But it's all based on my OCD and fear of failure. And fear of making a bad decision. So I'm always going in with plan A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. That's exhausting.
Yes.
It's exhausting.
Jay, I get it.
Exhausting. But it's why I usually have the answer for everything, because I have thought of the worst case possible.
Which is a superpower.
which
Yes,
is a
it
superpower.
is. Yeah.
But on the flip side,
Yep.
at what cost?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And again, like everyone I work with, the people, they're amazing. Like such
Jay, I've been called
good-hearted.
a prodigy, and I'm literally just doing my job and
Exactly.
doing it well. And I'm like, thank you so much, but also like I thought I was just doing a good job.
Yeah, and I would, and you were, Amanda, you were talking about the ego. That's exactly.
Yes.
I was looking
especially when you're struggling with something. It's like, but look what I
Right.
did.
That's right.
Even
And
while
my
I'm going through
OCD
this.
ate that up.
Yes.
It wanted that. And it just, I don't know. I know I've gotten to the point in the last couple of years as I've gotten older and my kids are getting older and such as, okay, I've spent half of my life fighting this. I can fight it for another 30, 40 years or whenever the Lord wants to take me type of thing.
Yeah.
But no. So
Don't want to.
yeah, so it's the same thing that has made me successful is the same thing that has buried me so many times.
Oh, that is beautiful, Jay. Yes, literally.
And I think for me, it is starting to find those joys. And I'll never forget so I did a CBT program at Butler a couple years ago, cognitive behavioral therapy. It was great, a week long, intensive, you're there. And so the social worker or whatever was saying, what are your hobbies? Like, what are the things? And I'm like, I don't know if I even have any hobbies, which then even makes me question, what the hell have I been doing?
Yeah, right.
So I did talk about gardening and homesteading, which I know we all love chatting about. And I'm like, I like to work out and I like to cook. And so I remember the therapist going, perfection, perfection, perfection. I went, oh shit. And I go, oh my God, I gravitate to things that will feed my perfection OCD.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And I had never even thought of it from that perspective. So think about it. Cooking, it's a science.
Yeah.
Precise measurements and stuff like that. If it doesn't taste right, oh, did I miss the salt? Did I forget this? Then what happens? You get pissed off, throw it out, do it again.
Yeah.
Okay? Working out, did I PR? Did I beat my time? Or, oh, you fat fuck, like, what the hell are you doing type
I'm
of thing.
winded. I suck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then gardening was too many weeds, or why is the eggplant not growing the way that I want? What do you do? I would rip it out and start again. And that was like such an aha moment for me to sit back to say, I'm not going to get rid of those things because they bring me joy. They really, really do.
Yeah.
I've got to look at it totally different. I was looking at it from an OCD lens.
Yep.
I have to look at it from a J lens now.
Yeah.
And that has been one of the biggest eye-opening experiences for me in the last 2 years.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Letting my garden go this year, honestly, was a huge growth moment for me. The weeds are cringe, but I'm like, I can't do it.
No.
If I do it, I'm going to be more exhausted, more stressed, and
mad that you wasted that time even doing that
when
part.
I have the sink to take care of or all these other things that if I'm living inside this space.
Yep.
So I'm going to see that mess more. So I need to take care of this, and the garden just needs to go this year. And that was so hard for me because it brings me so much joy being out in the garden. But at the same time, that takes away from the things that I know are going to impact me on a day-to-day basis.
Exactly. I would say, I was sharing this earlier before we started really chatting. So my therapist said, why don't you create a chaos corner in your garden? She goes, don't touch it.
Okay.
Just plant and trust the process.
Okay.
Let nature take its course. And she's like, I bet you it will come out. But we can't be sure. So one of the things so again, I was just reassuring myself right there. I just caught myself reassuring myself. So what we say in OCD all the time is, can't be sure. We don't know.
Can't be sure. Okay.
But she just said, let it go. Let the weeds grow.
Yep.
Let the bees come if they come. Let the eggplant grow if it grows. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
And that for me was an exposure.
Yeah.
To have to go sit out in my yard and watch something that's not perfect and watch something that I know. And I'm even cringing now thinking about it.
Right.
In my suds now, even thinking about it, a 6.
Yeah.
Because I'm the things I should be doing.
Yes.
Oh, I've got to do this. I've got to do that. Says who?
Right.
Says who?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's, again, the should. You heard the word should? That's OCD in my brain right now telling me, right now, I'm thinking at my house what I have to do this afternoon. And we've got soccer and we've got this and we got that.
Yep. Like 10 steps ahead always.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what OCD wants you to do. It wants you to live in fear so that you are 10 steps ahead of everybody else. It feeds your ego because I'm smart. I know I'm so ahead of you guys, and we're going to be doing. No, it's just faking you out. And I think with the garden, and I love horticulture. You guys know that. It's something that has really become my medicine in many ways. You know, I'll take horticulture over an SSRI any day of the week. I take SSRIs. I do have to, kind of, you know, for part of my treatment. But it's just letting it happen.
Yeah.
And I think the more you kind of sit there with that, you're like, okay, wow.
I survived.
Like, just
I
take a
survived.
breath.
I did it. And okay, so now let's try it a little bit more. So that treatment is upping the ante constantly. Because if you get too comfortable, that's what OCD does. It's going to retreat.
Right.
It's going to regroup.
That's the new, like, perfect.
Exactly. So for me, then it was, okay, let's start growing things by seed. I was terrified to do that.
God, dude.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
Because my OCD is telling me, you're an idiot, you're stupid, you don't know enough about that, you're going to screw up.
Yep, you're not going to have a garden.
You're going to use the wrong soil, you're going to water it.
3 years to grow a garden because of all of those thoughts.
You know, you're not going to have enough vermiculite in there, you're not going to have it. I was terrified to drop a freaking seed into a bucket of soil.
The amount of seed bags I have in my garage right
I
now
do
that
too.
are not used.
Yep. And for me, that was that next step. So it started with the chaos, and then it was like, let's try something new, which OC doesn't like. It does not like new.
Yeah.
And I screwed up a lot, believe me. I watered too much, didn't get enough light. Okay, this one needs more heat. And, you know, it's a science. There really is a science to it. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And that was the growth of OCD, of saying, one, I can do it. I can let the garden do whatever. I can now try something new.
Yeah.
I can learn from it.
Yeah.
And say, yep, I screwed up.
Yeah.
Didn't work the way I thought it was going to. We're going to try it again. And this time I'm going to create my own soil. And I'm going to bring in this type of, whatever, to add the fertilizer to. To feed it in some way. And it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And I would probably say of all my seeds, probably 40% shit the bed and just weren't great. I wasn't worried about it anymore.
Using the phrase "fuck it" when you go into something is so freeing.
Yes.
Because you're gonna give your 100% whether it turns out good or not.
Exactly.
It's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
Versus like that planning stages.
And that's the problem. It's that analysis by paralysis in many
oh
ways.
Oh my
God!
Wow.
Yes.
Analysis by paralysis.
The OCD.
We need that on a t-shirt.
The OCD wants you to live there.
Yeah.
It wants to keep you safe from making a mistake. And I use that term loosely, obviously.
My thing's feeling stupid.
Yep.
I don't want to be mad at myself.
Yep. And I feel a sense of vulnerability in that, wait a minute, my names are on books. My names are in articles. My names are on keynotes. My names are on awards. I can't make a mistake.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't mess up.
Can't be human.
I can't be human. and that's actually one of the things we're doing now. I was in my therapy session last week. We were talking about something. I can't remember what it was. And I go, oh, is this that whole emotion thing you people feel?
Oh my God.
Because I'm like, no. I don't want to feel. I haven't felt emotions since I was probably 10 years old.
Wow.
Think of that. I mean, my dad passed 5 years ago. He had stage 4 lung cancer. 6 months, he was gone. And I can remember the night he passed. I was in the hospital with him when it happened. And my family's crying and, doctor, what do we do next? What's that? It was very this, and it wasn't that I wasn't grieving.
Right. Yeah.
It was, didn't want to show it. That was number one. I don't know how to do it. I didn't then.
Yeah.
But it's they call it a practical griever,
Yeah.
and that's what it was like. Okay,
Yeah.
OCD, kick me in.
Yeah.
Let's go. I need you to kind of get me back into this, just bang, bang,
Right.
bang.
Yep.
And that's what I did.
Yep.
So then when I went back to therapy like a few years ago, I'll never forget my therapist saying to me, she's like, you came here to grieve your dad. She's like, you might not like to hear what I'm going to tell you. She's like, you're actually here to grieve your whole life. You talk about a knife
Oh my
in
God.
your heart. And it was like, yeah. I don't know who I am because I have let this disorder get the best of me.
Right.
And that was the start of the awakening, I think, to question things in life.
Right.
I call it my midlife crisis that I'm in right
Yeah.
now, and
Right on time.
you guys aren't
Just
there
kidding.
yet, but you'll get there soon.
Yeah.
And you begin to question your own mortality. You begin to question, have I done enough? Have
Yeah.
I been a good dad? Have I been a good husband? Yeah, geez, I almost cried there for a
Yeah.
second. That was woo.
See?
OCD, come on,
Yeah.
protect me.
Yeah,
No, just
right.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, so
Right.
I'd love to know too, because personally, parenthood has been like a huge eye opener as
Yeah.
far as OCD, whatever we want to call it, for me, because I like just dissociate so hard sometimes because I'm like doing my best and like
Yeah.
he's just still so upset and I'm like, I don't know where to go from here, so I'm just gonna not. And like, praise Josh, like even last night was such a hard night. He's just like slapping us in the face, like for crying, giving nothing as far as feedback as to like how we can help you. So I'm like debilitated at that point.
Yeah.
And Josh is just so patient, and he's just like the patience that we need in that moment. Because like I'm just like literally standing there like staring because I was like, I just feel so unhelpful. I don't know what to do. So like, how did you experience your everything that you feel with
Yeah,
parenthood?
That is where I'm at in my next exposure.
Awesome.
So what is so cool about exposures is, and I said these ERP therapists are like crazy, and they're nuts. Like I have been with a therapist who I was with someone that had contamination, OCD, and in one of his exposures was he had to eat a cookie that was on the floor. That was the exposure.
Oh my God.
So she actually took the cookie, wiped her shoe with it, and she started to eat it.
Stop.
But she's like, if I'm going to be here to support you, I got to do the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So with exposures, and we would always catch ourselves, we'll be talking with our therapist about how you're feeling, and you'll go, oh shit, I just gave them an idea for an exposure.
Yeah.
And you can see the grin on their face.
Yeah.
They're like, ooh, we're going there. We're
Yeah.
going there. Which is good because that's what you need. The parenthood thing, and I've got a daughter who will be 11 soon, and I've got a daughter who will be 8 next week. Talk about being old. I mean, you guys remember when they were born. I mean,
yeah, it's crazy.
Makes me feel old.
Raging ourselves here.
That's where I'm going next. And we're just starting to touch on that.
Got
and I
it.
think why I say that is, and without going into my traumas, obviously,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, my traumas hit at the exact same time my kids are right now.
Yes.
So
okay.
I'm starting to relive some of those things.
Yep.
And I want to put them in that OCD cocoon
Yep.
to
Yeah.
protect them.
Yep.
But I also understand that's not reality. The world is a scary place.
Right, it is right now.
It's a scary
and we're
place.
exposed to how scary it is
I was
because
just
of
gonna
socials.
say that there's
yeah.
so many things that help put
Yep.
more ideas and help that OCD kind of rev its gears and get stronger.
Exactly. So I see how I'm interacting with my girls. Do I want to be a better parent? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I know I have moments where it's my OCD frustrated. It's
Yeah.
my OCD mad. I'll say things I don't mean.
Yep.
I'll yell in ways I don't want to.
Right, yeah.
And we've been talking over the last couple of weeks because there's some big changes that are happening down the road.
Yeah.
That I've been working on in just life in general. But that's sort of the one that scares me the most is this next one with
Yeah.
my kids.
Yeah.
And I had great parents growing up. Nothing against them. but I want to protect them from the safety of the world. And I'll give you an example. Where we are in our new development, we bought a house in May. We built a house. It's like a big loop. So the kids, what do they want to do as kids? Can I go on my bike and go around the loop?
Yeah.
Well, they're still building houses down on the back end, so I can't see behind the big mound.
Yeah.
So of course, no, can't.
Yeah. Nope.
I need to stand on that
Out of
porch
sight,
and
out
I
of
need
mind.
to
No
watch
thanks.
you.
Yeah.
And that's something that we've been working on. And so then I said, okay, I'm going to let you go to the corner, but then you got to come back. Okay? I did it. Can do hard things.
Yep.
Now, okay, I'm going to let the both of you go together around. Okay? They're fine. Then I'm going to let you each individually go around. So that's what ERP therapy does, is it never accepts that first kind of accomplishment.
Okay.
It takes it up a notch.
Yeah.
Takes it up a notch. Takes it up a notch. To the point where the other day, I can't remember which kid it was. You'll get to the point where you have no clue which kid it was.
Yeah.
But can I go to the neighbor's house? And I said, all right, just be back by 5:45. I'm cooking dinner.
Yeah.
I was in the house. I was at 5:45. She walked in the house. Fine.
Love that for you.
So, but that was months in the making.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to do a simple, it's not
Yeah.
simple
No.
task
Yeah.
like that. So parenthood, I think, is hard in general. Whether you're a fur parent or you're a
Right.
human parent, it's a responsibility.
Yes.
You feel
You're
so
responsible for this other living thing.
correct. And
Right.
I have over responsibility OCD. So what that means is I feel like I am the sole responsible provider, even though my wife is right there with me as a
Right.
tag team.
Yeah.
But my brain is telling me, Jay, you
on
have
me.
to be, it's on me. And if you make the wrong decision, if you make a mistake,
That's on you too.
it's on
Yeah.
me. And then if you let them go ride their bikes and they get kidnapped, that's on you. Now imagine what's going to go through my brain
Right.
if that ever happened.
Please, Lord, no.
So,
And
but
then trying to protect that.
Exactly. So I think it's balancing, and we say this with OCD all the time. Life is hard. Life in general is hard. Everything in life is hard.
Yeah. Right.
You throw now someone who has clinically diagnosed OCD. I don't know if it's a fear or not. I don't know if the danger is real or not.
Yeah.
Anxiety or intuition.
Exactly.
Right.
My brain is just telling me.
What are we doing here?
Fear,
Yeah.
fear, danger, danger, danger. And that's why that broken fire alarm analogy is so right on.
Yeah. Right.
Is it's going off 24/7 in my brain, and I don't know if I should be fearful or not.
Right.
And that's the piece around OCD. I really want people to understand it is debilitating.
Yeah.
Debilitating, because it's giving you a false narrative that you now believe because of the way your brain has been wired and the muscle that has just been built up. Every time you do a compulsion, you're enabling your OCD.
Right.
That's the challenge. So OCD has a cycle, and usually it's you get triggered by something. Now, it could be, did I leave the hedge clippers outside? It could be, did I say the right thing in that meeting? Oh my goodness, are they gonna?
Wording.
Yep. It could be, I just submitted that grant, which I'm a grant. One responsibility is the grant writing. Oh my God, did I do it the right way? I'm gonna now take $1 million away from the school district, from this and that. So you start, and then you start getting built up.
Yeah. You feel
then-
it like creeps up.
This is what happens. The tornado. And it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And then what it wants you to do is get that instant gratification. And that instant gratification is your compulsions. So
Taking that hour to review that thing that you know you did fine.
Exactly.
But you need to check anyways.
it could be the mental
Yeah.
review. It could be, I had to send an email last week. Simple email.
Yeah.
Simple. There was nothing to it. 3 hours it took me to hit the button. What did I do? I went outside and watered the grass when I have a sprinkler system. What do I need to water the freaking grass
Yeah.
for? I went and did this. I went and ran errands because the brain is saying protect, protect, protect. I eventually did it, and
Yeah.
you
can do hard things.
Yeah,
Even
you can
pressing
do-
send can be hard
that's
sometimes.
it.
But
So then you do your compulsions. It could be avoiding. It could be mental review. It could be asking for reassurance. It could be checking the light switches. It could be washing your hands. It could be, there are just so many
It's so
things.
personalized,
It's so
yeah.
personalized. It's subjective. That's subjective
Yeah.
units of distress. that then you're like, okay, I feel better now.
Yeah. Sometimes simply taking a breath is all you need.
Exactly.
Especially when you have these, obviously, the other tools in your belt
Yes.
to kind of like bring up after that breath. But just fucking take a beat
Yeah.
is like all you need sometimes.
Exactly. I think
Yeah.
with the compulsions, the challenge is you've just given in to your OCD by doing. That's the goal. Is if I'm sitting watching a video of a girl being kidnapped, I can't be turning away. I can't be fidgeting. I can't, because those are my signs of my compulsions to try to block out what I'm seeing. That's what they're watching for.
Okay.
So it's trying to sit in that discomfort and not doing anything else.
Yeah.
And feeling every sense of emotion that's coming through your body. One of the things I would do when I was in program, so I have a terrible problem with wasted time. I can't sit and watch a show or sit. You got to be you got to be doing it. And I think one of my exposures was, all right, you're coming in, you're sitting in the group room with everybody else. You cannot make any facial expressions. You cannot react to anything that anyone's doing. You cannot look at your phone. You cannot look at the thing. You sit there.
God.
Because what they want you to do is feel the discomfort of wasting time.
Yes.
And you do it more and more, and then you realize, maybe we all need to waste some time.
Yes. So Josh just started traveling a little for work. And one of the things that I don't know if this is reassuring now or whatever, but I was like, okay, like, yes, I prefer him to be home, but this now gives me the opportunity to go to bed earlier, or I can sit out on the porch and just like relax. But I then get uncomfortable not doing anything while he's not home. Because I also feel like if he's not home and I have this time now, I have to do the dishes or like do all these things that should be done because there's fucking laundry all over the table or whatever. And I feel guilty just going to sit on the porch and do nothing. So then I break out my phone and I'm then frozen in the kitchen scrolling.
Scrolling is one of the biggest compulsions.
Then I waste 30 minutes scrolling when I could have either A, done the dishes or gone to relax. So then I'm like really pissed at myself.
So what if the dishes stayed there and my very first exposure in program was washing dirty dishes.
Oh, really?
They would come in, they'd put ketchup and honey and
water.
then and then they would be like, that's too perfect. Leave it. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah.
Or there's too much water splattered around and I need to clean, I need to clean that up. So that was but here's the funny part. After the end of that first week, I was like, God, I let this really ruin me.
Yeah.
So that's where you're exercising, your brain. Scrolling is the death of so many. It's my biggest compulsion. I will pick up that phone and then I go down and then you start reading articles and then the articles get me even worked up more. And then I start going down into black holes and now I'm worked up and then, now it's time for bed.
Yeah.
And now you're laying there and when my panic attacks usually happen is at nighttime, is when I'm in bed because you're not thinking anything, you're just there.
Right.
But scrolling, so like one of the things I do now is at 8 o'clock, phone goes in a totally separate room.
Yeah.
It's not even with me on the couch. That was one of my exposures.
Yep.
Again, so exposures don't have to be like these massive things.
Yeah, same for me if I'm trying to like set the boundaries of the phone. Yeah, I just leave it on a counter face down.
Exactly.
And then we're in like a totally different room.
Yep. But scrolling is horrible. And that was another sign that I needed to come back to therapy a couple of months ago because I knew that's all I was doing. That's all I was doing, and that was avoidance. That was the da-da-da-da-da-da. But it just shows you how much of a stronghold OCD can have.
Yeah, or just
on
your
you.
mind too. Like our minds are the most like beautiful and like complicated storytellers. I actually did a personal development forum. And one of the biggest things they teach you, it wasn't for like mental health or anything. It's just more like working through trauma and stuff like that. But they talk about how our minds are storytellers and they teach you the distinction of like what's story and what's fact. So for the hedge trimmer again, the fact is the trimmers are on the lawn, I'm in bed. That's fact. Everything else is story. So then you can decide, am I just going to stay sleeping or am I going to allow that story narrative to then be the boss of my next move?
I love that. And so I actually call myself the sustainable storyteller because in my grant writing and my program design and program development, I'm telling a story and I'm thinking of every chapter and what happens in order to then, whatever the final product is.
Yeah.
I'm in a chapter right now in my real life. I have no idea how it's going to end. And that's the scariest
Beautiful and
part.
scary.
It's beautiful and scary.
Yeah, right.
And I had a therapist tell me in the program, and I'll never forget what Megan said, and I adore her. And she gave me a big hug on my last day, and she's like, I'm so proud of you, and all of that. And she goes, I just want to let you know one thing. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean that's what you're supposed to be doing. And I was like, oh my God. I started like bawling my eyes out because it just hit something in me. And she's like, tell your story.
Yeah.
And that's how she ended it. That's how I left the program was tell your story.
Yeah.
And the cool part is that through, finding, professional therapy or other ways of life that you start to figure out what is your story.
Yeah.
But then you have to be careful you don't retreat from that because I'm a master manipulator. Like I know how to manipulate because I do it to protect myself.
Yep.
And I've done it. So my mental reviews, if I don't want to do something for weeks, I will start creating the script in my brain.
Yes.
I will start saying, okay, I need to go set the seed with this person. I need to go do that. Like, that's like fucked up shit. I mean, I'll be the first one to say it.
Yeah.
But when I tell
It's not malicious.
It's not.
out of
malicious.
protection.
Exactly. Right. But that's where I say, like, then I go and I can write a $5 million grant with my eyes closed because I can tell the story. I can tell a story in a way that the reader wants to hear it. And then you figure out how you're going to actually do it.
Right.
I was creating my own story, but it was a false narrative. And it was one where I would take a couple of steps and then, oh, nope, retreat. Take a couple of steps. Oh, retreat because I'm trying to protect. But look at all of the things that I was denying myself in that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing is if you don't get help with OCD, and there are different levels to it, and some people do it better than others. And obviously, I'm not a health professional. I'm just someone telling a story.
Right.
For me, that's where that shame kind of comes into of, wow, look at all of the things that I gave up. But that's where you got to flip it. Who says you can't write that next chapter right now?
Right.
And that's sort of what I'm doing, but it's so new to me.
Right.
And it's scary.
Yeah, I totally agree. And after Josh's dad's passing, actually just circling back to the whole grief thing, that really resonated with me because I decided that I was going to step away from like full-time entrepreneurship after a reading with Amanda, actually, because she like just kind of validated that like tough conversation that needed to be had to like take that first step. And then I started looking. I had, what was it? I applied to like 3 jobs. It was like brand new. I only got 1 interview. It was on a Tuesday. Josh's dad passed on the Saturday before. And I was like, obviously in that, very like unexpected. But I was like, do I let this impede that next step, or do I go with that next step anyways? And I was like, I feel wholeheartedly like I'm supposed to be doing this, so I'm just gonna go through with it. So it went from like literally within 7 days, he dies.
That's crazy.
I have the interview, I follow up after the funeral, and I get the job. And within like 30 days, I'm now in this like completely different life circumstance with a career. And Cammy goes to daycare. Is like life is just so unrecognizable at this point, and it's scary as fuck.
It is.
And it's just, but then all of the signs are saying it's so great though.
Yeah, and I think that's the crazy part. Like we just bought a brand new house. In May. I'm the cheapest what out there. Like I have my first communion money. I mean that's honestly and everyone knows that, and I laugh about it. But it's financial OCD. It's holding on because what if I need this? What if we're bankrupt, living in a tent? So, like these are the things, the stories that it's trying to tell you. So what do? You prep for A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And when I was in program, I remember walking in. I'm like, yeah, I think we're buying a house. And my therapist was like, the fuck are you talking about? Like you so afraid to do anything because again, fear, OCD is fear. And we did it.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful house. Believe me, I have my moments. Don't
Right.
get me wrong. The
Naturally.
mortgage is a lot more than the mortgage was.
Yeah.
But we're doing it and
Yeah.
watching the kids now ride their bikes in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I feel ya on
Yeah,
that
it's like
piece.
everything you ever wanted, but you're like, I'm still so scared. Why am I scared?
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
scared. And I think for me, it's, and I don't know how you guys are, is you really have morphed and changed and transformed in so many ways in your professional careers and your life career, life careers, but in life in general, is I still don't know who I am.
Yeah.
That is the scariest thing is
Yeah.
I think I know. And, like with Beth, I can be exactly who I am,
Yeah,
which is the
same.
coolest thing. And I'm
Right.
sure you guys can say the same thing about your partners. And that's been awesome. It's how do I take that outside the front door
Yes.
and show the rest
Oh
of
my
the
God,
world?
yes.
And to me, then it's the fear of, well, what if I mess up? What if I...
They don't understand me the same way.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna get
Exactly.
judged.
Or I'm going to be judged of, well, wait a minute, Jay has his shit together. He usually always does.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you mean he's failing on this? But that's anyone. And
Right.
so then you take someone who has OCD and you add that on top of it, and that's the debilitating piece. And that is that piece which is just fear, but you have to trust the process.
Right.
I know as corny as that may
No,
sound.
but
No,
it's so
it's-
true.
Those
Yeah.
cliches are cliches for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are so true.
Right.
My biggest thing is like let go and let God, because when
Mm-hmm.
I want to control something and I'm like, this doesn't, like the reality of it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'll literally just like the salon, letting go of
Yeah.
the salon. I had not only my own fear, but everyone else throwing, what are you gonna do for work?
Yep.
Well, you built
Yep.
this business for 10 years. What do you mean you're gonna close? Like there was so much going on
Yeah.
that I was just like, I don't know, but I know like that's supposed to be.
Yes.
Right.
And then even still, like, I didn't have any plan. I ended up getting a summer job. Still didn't have a plan. The summer's ending. Now I just started a mentorship. Like, it's all just kind of
You just roll
go.
with it.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
going with it, and that's scary because I'm a Capricorn, so that's
Yeah.
planner. Like
I'm a
boss,
Virgo,
like,
so I mean,
yes,
bang, bang, bang,
exactly.
you know? Yep.
And that people may call it woo woo, but we are.
Oh, we are
it makes
totally.
so much sense when you
Yeah.
actually understand what those signs mean.
Exactly.
But yeah, just letting your intuition drive versus the anxiety. Because if I
Yes.
stayed with the salon
Yeah.
because of anxiety, I'd be fucking miserable.
Yep.
Still wanting
Yep.
to kill myself. Still, all of those thoughts would still be there. But on the outside, I'd look great.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, and I think that, I mean, I always laugh. I mean, I was a trust fund kid growing up. I flew on my grandfather's jet. I had college and schooling paid for. It didn't mean anything. It
Yeah.
didn't mean anything. And again, thankful. I am
Right.
blessed, like blessed for that.
Yeah.
But this whole time I was faking everybody, manipulating.
Yeah.
And I think once, it was 5 years, I think, after I stopped drinking, where I felt okay to say, yeah, I'm alcoholic. I'm a recovering alcoholic.
Yeah.
And then it was like a year later, yeah, I took Percocets and opioids, and I loved it. It was
Yeah.
great. Now, mental health. Yeah, I was at Butler Hospital. I was at Butler Hospital twice.
Yeah.
And there are people who don't even know I was there for the second time. I have
Yeah.
family members don't even know I was there.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't want them to know. It's just
They don't need to know.
they don't need to know.
I think that's
And-
another piece of the socials too, is people feel like this need to share every little minuscule part of
Yeah.
your life. Like
Yep.
just live your life and like let it be yours
and
also.
social media, like, I don't think I post pictures of my kids on soccer and my vegetables.
Yes.
That's it. I don't, nothing more. I want to be very private person. If I open the door to you, that means I trust you 100%, and there's something with you that I feel comfortable with. And come on in. We're going to be crazy together. We'll
Right.
be weird together.
Yeah.
We'll cry together, or, empathize. People don't want sympathy. They need empathy. And
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
that big
Yes.
piece. So for me, yeah, I mean, it's been liberating to be able to say, I have OCD. I have anxiety. I have depression. I have a form of bipolar. That's me.
Yeah.
That's who I am. And here we go. But then there come times where and I don't know how you guys have wrestled with this, but I'll hear people say something, and again, why do they do it that way? They're, judging you in some way. And there is a piece of me that does want to say, fuck you. It has nothing, what the hell do you care? It's my life. I'm here to support you. You support me. I love you. Who cares? It's just how I like to live. But there have been moments where I've wanted to just go and say, do you know what it's like to live inside of my head?
Yes.
Do you know I have a tattoo on my back, and it's an eye. And inside the eye is a person holding jail bars.
Oh, wow.
And their head is down like this. And people ask me, like, what the hell is that? Some days I'm just like, mind your own fucking business.
Yeah.
Like, just leave me alone. Let me swim in the pool. Don't bother me type of thing.
Right.
But then there are other days I've always said, if you look deep into someone's eye, you can see their pain.
Yeah.
And mental health will make it so that you feel like you're trapped in your own jail.
Yeah.
So that's what that is. And I say this to people. There are times where I just wish I could tell you, do you know what it's like to live? Whether I'm buying a house or I'm buying a pack of gum, I put the same mental energy into that.
Right.
It's exhausting. And that's why so many people with OCD are just so tired afterwards. Because should I cut the grass? Did I cut the grass the right way? If I don't cut the grass the right way, am I going to get rats? If I get rats, I'm going to have an infestation. If I have an infestation, we're going to have to move out. That's what my brain does for everything.
Right.
So I'm getting to the point where I'm trying to wrestle, and I don't know how you guys do this with, I don't want to use my OCD as like a crutch.
Right.
To be like, well, I have OCD. I wish you feel bad for me type of thing. But then on the flip side, I just wish people would be kind to each other.
Yeah. And stop expecting everyone to be the same.
Exactly.
So if you don't say it directly to me and someone's making a comment about someone else's lifestyle, I won't put myself in and be like, well, I deal with that too, and this is what it feels like. I'll always just be like, well, what if it's because they feel this way? Like, you never, and I'll give them a different perspective, and then it's kind of like, but it's like, be grateful that you don't have to go through that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you not understanding it, that's good for you.
Oh,
that's great for you.
I wish, and I love that line, because I tell people, I wish you never have to be in a situation like this. Because it is torture. You are stuck in jail.
Yeah.
But there is a beauty that comes of it. And it's this awakening of some sort.
Yeah.
You know, use the butterfly analogy or whatever.
Yeah.
And you might get there faster than I do.
Right.
You might be there 3 months from now.
And there's no someone's better. It's just the journey happened to be that I'm here. I went through it first. Not better than you, but first. Yeah. And now I can look back and help or be here for you to catch up or whatever it is.
Right.
I remember I had this math teacher who talked about, it's fucking math. She shouldn't have been having this conversation, but she's like, anyone who kills themselves is just selfish. And me and this kid who struggled really hard, we were both in Butler. We looked at each other just like, did she just fucking say that? Because you want to know what feels selfish? It felt selfish to put my burdens on everyone else. It felt selfish to bitch to everyone else about my emotions and vent and all of that. So leaving felt like I was doing the world a favor to not be here. Like, it was just such a backwards way of thinking. And I was like, I just had to go to the bathroom and, like, leave the room because I would have went off on her. But I could not believe, like, the balls to say that. Yeah, I was just like, you don't know what that person is living with on a day-to-day basis. You're on the outside looking, not even in, just at.
Yeah, right.
So until you get in and truly understand what that feels like every day and that pain you carry every day that you just want to get away from, you can't say a goddamn thing.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, amen to that. And I think that's a world where then, you do a lot of, I'm sure you guys both have done a lot of self-reflection and inward kind of whatever it is that brings you peace in some way. And I would often think exactly that piece. But then I would sit back and go, did I just fake everybody out? Like, was I not being true to myself? And I was just showing the professional Jay, the Jay that's got his, put on a good show. The Jay, he busts his ass. He works 80 hours a week. Like, who the hell cares about that? Yeah. Why work 80 hours a week? You're going to be in the freaking hospital. You're going to be dead 6 feet underground. Yeah. And for what? And I think that has been this eye-opening for me, which has been twofold. It's one is there is an awakening that's happening. Don't know when it's going to come to a climax or whatever.
It's going to be a journey.
Yeah, it's going to be a journey. Exactly. But then it's like, wow, I faked everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me is like, good job.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my
you
God,
did,
right?
you did
You
great.
just remind me of a project that we did at Butler. They had us do a little postcard, and we did like this collage of what we thought everyone thought about us.
Oh.
And then we went around the group and we would ask, like, what do you think about this person?
Yep.
And I remember mine was like perfect and like all of this stuff. And that is what I still put on a fucking show while I was in Butler.
Wow.
Oh, I did too.
Every single
I did too.
person telling me that they thought I was perfect, that I had my life together,
Yep.
and I'm just like, wow. Well, I also don't want to be showing everybody my self-harm
That's
cuts while I'm
correct.
at school. You know what I mean? Like, there
Yeah.
was so much things that, like, that they needed to be
Yeah.
private. I needed to be okay to go to school. I needed to be okay to go to work.
And I love that. And I did my last day in the CBT program. There was this dude, Chris. I can tell you where he was sitting. He always wore a black backwards hat, white t-shirt, skinny dude. He was this tall guy. And I'll never forget. It was the last day, so he's like, I just want to thank everybody. Because you do. You build a bond with these folks because you're sharing something that is tabooed and vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I'll never, I remember him saying, we got Jay to laugh. We got Jay to break out. He's like, I actually think the real Jay started to come out here.
Mm.
And that is really what kind of set off this. You don't have to be whatever it is. I don't even
Put
know
a
what
mask
it is.
on.
Right.
Yeah, it's a facade. And I know how to
We mastered
facade.
it.
Yeah.
We got
Fucking mastered
PhDs
it.
in this shit.
Unfortunately, true.
Unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, true. Yeah.
But
And-
society also did that.
Oh,
Right.
100%. And I remember, I talk about being the trust fund and being I remember going to college, and I left after 5 weeks. University of Hartford, I left. And I remember I had to write my grandparents a letter telling them why I was leaving. And
So old school.
it's so
Yeah.
old school. And I remember I felt terrible because I went to Hendricken. I went, you don't do
On
stuff.
path, yeah.
Yeah, you like go to college, you do this, do that. And then I took a year off, and now I reflect on that now. I was going through massive OCD and mental health challenges, like massive at that time. But I was putting on a face for everyone, and I was being who they wanted me
Following
to be.
their path that they built for
Exactly.
you.
And I'm like, no.
I don't want it.
I don't want it, but then my OCD would put such a stranglehold on me that I would be so fearful.
If
It was
you
like,
did
let
it.
me go back to what I know.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I'm really good at that.
Yes.
And I good at it from a salary and from awards and
Yeah.
from that. So I just kept doing it. But I was faking myself out the entire time.
Yeah. Right.
And that was kind of that eye-opening epiphany, I think. And then when I did the last 9-week program, that came out even more of, what are you doing?
Yeah, you've officially given yourself permission to live for you.
Exactly. And I'll say, I'll start talking about things, and I'll be like, well, I was thinking nope. My OCD was trying to tell me, and then I would, so it's this constant reframing.
Yeah.
We're never going to be cured. I'm always going to have it. You have to just know how to live with it.
Right.
Do I have shitty days? Of course, we all do. Coming here, I was full of anxiety. Like, if you could have cut me open, it would have just spewed everywhere here. And now I'm so relaxed right now.
Yeah, me
because
too.
we're just chatting about stuff that I think we're all, really passionate about. But this is who I am.
Yeah.
And I gave a presentation once, and I think I took the group by surprise. I'm like, my name's Jay Midwood. I'm blah, blah, blah. Here's what I got my bachelor's from. Here's where I got my master's from. I've written this article in Ed Week, and I've done this, and da-da-da-da-da. I said, but my name is Jay Midwood. I'm a recovering alcoholic and an opioid user. I've been clean for 22 years, and I am a mental health advocate and someone who wrestles with demons every day that people don't see. So if you want to know what my superpower is, that's the superpower right there, and that is also the same thing that's made me successful.
Yeah.
And I think the people were not expecting me to say that, but I needed to start the conversation off.
Like, I'm this and I'm this.
Yes.
And they both can be true. And they
Two
both
things can be true at the same
yes,
time.
Yes.
And that was, it's just part of this journey. And I think for me, it's never too late. It's
Yeah.
never too late. And I was in program with 20-year-olds, and I
Yeah.
remember, just saying to a couple of them, like, kudos. Like,
For
the
getting
fact
there.
that you brought yourself here voluntarily, you've stayed here, and you are so young,
Working the
and you're
steps.
already working on whatever this journey is for you,
Yeah.
like,
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
That's not a small feat.
No. And then they would flip it around, though. And then they would, I became the dad of the group at the end, which I'm sure you guys, no surprise.
Even the dad of
Yeah.
Mulligan.
Roll.
And I remember walking out on the last day, and they're like, "You brought so much wisdom." And I said, "It's not wisdom. It's just had the shit beat out of me, and it's experience."
Yeah.
And I said, "Doesn't mean you're not gonna see this or face this, but both can be true."
Yeah.
And we're just both coming at it from different timelines,
Right.
different moments in our lives. Now the key is, where do we go next with this?
Yeah.
And that's what OCD is. It's like I can hear it. Like, so I have intrusive thoughts. I have intrusive images. I have intrusive sounds. Like, I can literally hear my OCD talking to me right now.
All right, can I say something?
Yes.
And you can tell me to fuck off.
No,
or not,
I
but
wouldn't say that.
A huge part of my mental health changing was doing my energy work. Because everything is energy.
Yep.
Your thoughts are energy. The voices you're hearing, they might not be you.
Yeah.
So when my suicidal things would kick in to full gear, where I was like, I'm gonna fucking do this, I didn't want to leave the earth. Amanda wanted to stay here. Amanda wanted to be with her loved ones and enjoy life. But I had a being with me that I, on a soul level, made an agreement with. Hey, when I'm like this, you need to come in, because I'm leaving my body. I can't fucking be here. I can't do this. I don't want to feel this. So that would come in, and that would help me hurt myself and do all of the things and think of how I'm going to do it and have this plan of, if I'm going to do it one day, this is what it's going to be. I didn't have those thoughts when that being wasn't in my space. So it took a lot, but I broke the agreement. And we make soul agreements with beings because Earth is hard. So to be able to have help from another energy, like, hey, when I leave my body, step in. Like, I can see it in certain people. Like, when my grandma starts to get really anxious, she leaves and something else comes in, and I can see the switch. And you are very energetically open. You can read a room. You have that ability. You have that mediumship ability where you can sense energy. You can work with beings. You can work with people before they're even in your presence.
And
so it's like, if you ever want to read, I will voluntarily do that for you. But I would love to just give you an extra layer of ending agreements that you brought in at 8 years old. You know what I mean? That have helped you navigate till this point. And now you've moved out enough of them that you can get the physical help from the doctors, take the steps, do the work. But then those those voices that still come in here and there, as soon as I see that, I sit down and I meditate, and I'm like, you motherfucker, get out. Like, you don't belong here, and I know that's not me. I know that's the being that I made the agreement with that's still lingering. Comes in layers, of course, because I've done... For years, I've had this agreement. You can bring them from past lives that's crazy. I've worked with them, these beings in other lives that I never broke the agreement, so they're just going to continue to work with me on a soul level in every lifetime until we have free will. We can cancel it at any time.
Right.
Cancel that contract.
Yeah. I feel like spirituality has been a huge healing piece for me. Just being more open, especially after Josh's dad's passing, has been like a huge eye opener. I was gonna ask, do you feel like after, especially your dad passed, like spirituality played any part in your journey and
so my dad died on a Tuesday, and he died at night, 7:10ish, I think it was. And so 2 days later, obviously Beth and I are off from work, on bereavement leave. So Beth drives, I think it was probably Emma, to daycare or something like that. And she's like, she calls me, and she's like, oh, I saw, just want to let you know, there's a ladybug walking on my dashboard. Now, it's October, so you really shouldn't be seeing stuff like that, but whatever. And so I go, that's cool. I go, say hi to my dad for me, type of thing. So that was Thursday. Thursday afternoon, Beth's like, all right, let's go pick up Emma from school.
I already have the chills. I don't even know what you're going to say.
Oh, this gets very deep. And we're driving and we're in Apponaug. And again, I can tell you we're in my truck and Beth's in the passenger seat. She goes, "You gotta be fucking kidding me." There was a ladybug on my shoulder.
Oh my God.
And I said, okay. So next month will be 6 years.
Wow.
Crazy. Was it 6 years? Yeah, 6 years. And I've had on my birthdays, what the hell, ladybug. We've gone on vacation, ladybug. We've gone, I mean, to a point where
You can't deny
you don't
it.
question it.
Yes.
You just let it be.
Yes.
And so we went, and Beth and I went and actually saw a psychic medium a year ago maybe. And it was one of those, all right, I'll just see what's going on.
Yeah.
Again, not denying it, but
Right.
just wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Exactly. And so, of course, we're getting to the end, and the energy just hasn't come to us yet. Which I'm like, I just spent all this freaking money, and you better tell me someone's talking, to me type of thing.
Yeah.
So she gets over to us, and she starts saying things, and I'm like, how the fuck do you know that?
Yeah.
And what it was she ended the group before us, the partners or whatever it was. And she's like, yep, so, the butterflies and the dragonflies. And she goes, the ladybugs, those ladybugs. And, now I'm like,
Oh my God.
and she was next for us. And I'm like,
Caught
she's
your
like, does that
attention.
resonate with you? And
Yeah.
she puts her hand, you got goosebumps.
Oh, I love it.
And I'm like, yes. So then she starts talking about, like, things that nobody would know. Like, nobody. And
In regard to your dad, or just
family,
Okay.
my dad. Yep. And she's like, it was a gentleman, right? And I said, yep. And I didn't want to, like, say too much
Yeah,
because
no,
you don't
yeah.
want to tee them up. You want to see
Right.
where it's coming from. And she's like, your dad? I said, yep. And she's like holding her chest. And I'm like, he had lung cancer. So she's going on saying things about, like, my family that I've never shared to this day other than Beth when we were
Yeah.
there. And there was one moment where, she's just like, he's saying to you, he sees it now. And then that's when I just, like, lose it.
Because you know what it means.
I knew exactly what it meant. Like, and Beth is bawling her eyes out.
Yeah.
So it was this cool thing. And she's talking about, she knew kids played soccer. And I'm like, listen, if you went and stalked me on Facebook, kudos to you for finding this information.
Right. Yeah.
But the thing that really got us is, where she's just about, and she would always go, say, oh, go in peace. And she uses music to, like, channel. So she starts singing songs and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? But anyways, so she's like, go in peace. And she starts moving off to this, and she goes, no. She comes back to us.
Yeah.
She's like, he's got a lot to say, my dad. So she's like, is there a new dog in the house?
Oh, geez.
And we had just
your
gotten
dad was
Penny.
dogs.
And
yeah.
I mean, that's what this is,
Yeah.
my memorial to him.
Yeah.
And I said, yes. And she's like, yeah, it's new, right? And we had just gotten Penny like 6 months
Oh my
prior
God.
to that.
Yeah.
Now, how would she know this?
No.
And she's like, okay, well, you know where she came from. And then she turned around and walked away.
Wow.
And we say to this day, she's actually healed me, the dog, in so many ways because it's literally like having my dad.
Yeah.
It's nuts how she acts so differently than any dog we've ever had.
Yeah. And your dad did the dog
And
training
that's,
his
my
whole
dad was a
life,
canine
right?
behavioralist,
Yeah.
so that's why this is him walking in heaven, with the dogs. So it's a long-winded way of just kind of saying, John Adams has an amazing quote, and it never assume to comprehend. Mystery is essential. And I think once you're going to give in, so that night I remember driving home with Beth, and I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to question any of this.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the hell just happened.
Yeah, really.
But it
'cause
was
it's
very
just-
cool what just happened.
Yeah.
And it brought just this sense of peace to you. So when you're talking about that energy, I think for me, that superpower always has been, I can see the room before anything happens.
And
It's
that's
like-
a psychic ability.
Yeah.
It's just, we haven't been taught how to use it, so
Yeah.
it becomes a burden.
Yes.
And I would always use it more from, I've got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to think of plan A and plan B and plan. no, maybe it was these guides that are coming in or whatever. And I love what you're saying about like the voices, because I do. I hear them. Parts. I don't know if it's just mean I'm a Looney Tune or whatever.
You just have that extra sense that like you can hear beyond the physical.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all it is. It's literally like that energy that's there that you can't see with your eyes. You can hear it.
Yeah.
Loud and fucking clear.
And
sometimes it comes in your own voice, which makes you believe that it's you saying it to yourself.
I hear music. And I think that's the weird thing, is when I get really, really elevated in a OCD spiral, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
I'll sometimes see faces. I see bad things. But I hear it's a music box playing. I have no idea what it's connected to.
Yeah.
To this day, I still don't know. But it is this music that just plays, and it only plays for maybe 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And is it calming music?
Say that again?
Is it calming music?
It would be like when you're a kid and you have like a jewelry box that plays that whatever that's what I hear. And then it goes away, and then I'll be like, okay, where are you going? Come on, come back. I need more calming, please. Or whatever it is. And it's weird. It comes, I wasn't even thinking this until you're now talking about it.
I'm just watching all this energy as you're speaking, and I'm like, do I say it?
So I
like this,
see
like,
it
just
at
fucking
the
say the weird
same time. I see faces.
Yep.
And I can't put them with anyone. I don't know who they are.
Right, you don't.
And some of them are scary. And some of it's tying into some of my OCD fears. And the music almost comes in at the same
It's trying to counteract it.
time. Yeah. The faces stay, the music goes, and then I'm like, no, come back.
So what's immediately coming is like your vibration is that fear. So that's where all those fear being like the same. I don't want to say low vibrating because everything just sounds so scary. It's not scary.
Yeah.
They are trying to help you, even the low vibrating ones. So that high vibration music is trying to counteract that, but your physical is still going on that ride of being scared.
Yep.
So it's kind of making that go away. It's that
That's
balance of, so maybe even just try to only focus on the music at those times.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, this is the shit that I've like started to.
Yeah, it's so intriguing. But it's
and it
like
feels
that.
out there, like
Right.
But then when it makes sense, it's like,
there's something else there. I don't know what that is.
Right.
And when you use the word, you sparked it, and you're like, I'm battling demons, and that word's scary, and but that's all we know when we hear when we think of low vibrating energy.
Right.
It's like a demon, but really it's just souls and spirits that vibrate on a low frequency.
And I think
that are helping you when you're also vibrating.
Yeah. And I think for me,
it's like, again, I know how to do this. Let me jump in.
Well, that's it. And it's almost it's calming for me in a way, because it's almost helping me see who I am in that moment. And it's almost giving me some permission to kind of start doing this a little bit. And I've just come to learn I don't question. I let it be, which is huge for people with OCD, because we don't let it be.
Right. You want to figure it out.
You want to figure it out. You want to have the answers. You want to have the plan in place before you jump into the deep end. And you want to have, make sure you got the swimmies and the rowboat and everything, ready to go. My dad has shown in so, many ways. And I didn't have, that's the weird thing. I didn't have a very good relationship with him growing up, because I put on my facade. I'm just going to be me. Just let me be. Yeah. And I even say that now. Just let me be. Doesn't mean I want to be, isolate. I just want to be me. Just let me be. And I think, that was this.
Yeah.
And I didn't show emotion. I didn't do any of that.
Bit of a wall.
I was got a wall. It was like 7 walls, that I've just been chipping away in layers. But I tell people all the time, I was holding his hand when he passed, and we were all, my mom, my brother, and I were in the room, with him. He had this beautiful moment. So they call it the hospice surge, which is about 24 hours before someone usually dies. The body's letting out, whatever. Yeah. Again, I don't know the science behind it. And we were in his room on that Monday night, and we're just sitting there. I mean, he was comatose, basically. And turn around, he goes, "Hi." I'm like, "Oh, hi. Hi, what are you doing?" And nothing, what are you guys doing? Like, it was almost, it was weird. And I was FaceTiming with Emma at the time. So I said, "Em, you want to say hi to Pa?" And he got to say, "I love you," and this and that. It lasted maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And he died 24 hours later.
Wow. The soul hopped right back in. Like,
Exactly.
one more time.
But that, so people are like, "Were you sad?" Yes, you're sad. But there was, if I hadn't had that moment almost was like, "All right, I'm good.
Yes.
Go do your thing." And it brought such a peace. So at least to me, I don't know to anyone else. And then, you know, we were able to mend fences before it all. So no regrets. Like, no regrets.
Yeah.
And I think the regret is, I wish I had had my OCD under better control as a teenager and as someone in their 20s somethings.
But he understands now.
Yeah.
Now he gets it. And that's what that meant.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, so it's such a journey, and I think
death is sad and beautiful because it opens up doors that you don't believe until someone close to you is showing you signs.
Right.
And then you're like, "Oh, this is undeniable. I don't even need validation from anybody." Like,
exactly.
It's just, it's nice when you get it, like the medium seeing the ladybug. But like, just little things, like Sal's very open to this too. And when he was in the hospital this past week, I left to go check on the animals, and he felt a squeeze on his leg, and he was like, "Oh, my dad was here." I come back, there's a ladybug in the hospital. Walking along the top, and I was like,
in a place where windows don't open.
Yes. I was like, we've been here for 4 days, and it's here on the second to last day. Like, just undeniable.
You don't question it, and it does. It brings for me at least. It was just this kind of cloak of peace. That just,
absolutely.
you know, we could kind of put ourselves in, and obviously it sucks. Grief is terrible, and you know, it's something you don't know until you experience it, and we're all going to experience it or have experienced it in some way. I think it's when that, you know, when that therapist then said to me, "Yeah, you've got it your whole life that you need to grieve now." That was the gut punch, and I say almost thanks to my dad, maybe in a way. Maybe he was the one who kind of
that pivot point.
Exactly. And who knows? Can't be sure. Don't know. That's the story I'm telling myself. You know,
when that feels good inside of you, it's your answer.
And that's why I just laugh, because he and I battled. Oh my God, we battled and battled and battled. Yet at the end, he was the one. You know, type of thing.
Isn't that crazy?
It's fucked up.
And
It's really is. It's beautiful though.
Yeah, don't forget about that part of your story and who you are too, because he is you. Like, you literally came from him.
Oh, I am him. Believe me.
We are a soul tribe. Like, even your animals that come in, we all have these agreements to work together while we're on this earthly realm. And when you leave, like, I'm still gonna be here, just not my physical body. Soul level. Like, my belief is, the soul tribe literally will wait until you guys all move to the next spot together. 100%. So they're going to be here with you until you go, and then we're all going to wait together till the next one, and then we all move together. Yeah,
David Kessler, who's probably one of the internationally renowned experts in grief. I just dove into his books after, because again, I wanted to know the answer. I wanted to, so I was feeding my OCD, but also just super intuitive about... And, you know, the stages of grief. And you know, he says the 6th stage is making meaning. And he says in it, he's like, we come into this world, into the arms of a doctor or a loved one, depending on where the birth is happening, but you're being welcomed. He's like, of course, the same happens on the back end. So that, you know, last couple of days of your life, he's like, they're down. They're waiting. Yeah. They're waiting.
Right.
And I truly, truly believe that. When he was in the hospital room, he's like, yep, I felt Puma and Nike, who are old dogs of ours. They were pulling on his sock.
Yes.
He's like, they were laying next to me. You know, one of them kept pulling me, saying, let's go, meaning time to move on.
Yeah.
And he's like, nope, not yet. And it was like 5 days later when he passed. Oh, so I totally believe in that.
Yeah.
it then just drives me nuts because I
Right.
don't get the
You can't
full
figure it out.
answer
Yes.
that
Right.
I want.
That's
Yeah.
kind of where I stand with spirit. I think I've voiced to you a couple times, like bills passing and the signs received and like all these things that have opened up for me are undeniable and just so interesting and so like comforting.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's scary and intimidating because you don't have all the answers. And
The
I don't think we
human
ever
wants all the
will.
answers,
Yeah.
but the soul feels that and
Yep.
it has that answer.
Yep.
But
Right.
then our mind's like, but what if it's not? I want more. I remember my mom texted me the other day, so-and-so wants a sign from her mom. And so I told her, like, ask for something specific, just talk with her, blah, blah, blah. I said, and you have to believe or you're going to miss all the signs.
Right. Yep.
And she goes, oh, she believes this happened, and this happened. I was like, so she's already getting
Yeah.
signs.
Yeah,
What is she
right.
asking me for?
Yeah. Right.
And to what you said about them waiting for you, my grandfather, he was still in like the nursing home part before he went into hospice. He's in a wheelchair and he's talking to his buddy, and he's like, "Who's that? Who's that behind?" He's calling my name, and the friend turns around, and is like, "There's no one there." So he goes home and tells his wife, like, "I think Paulie's going soon. Like someone's calling for him." And he was in hospice the next day, and it's just crazy. And like, even when they are in that state, their soul's still around.
Oh, 100%.
So we would just keep telling, like, his son was coming all the way from Texas. So I was like, we were all just saying, like, hold on, he's going to be here at 1.
Yep.
And he held on for 2 hours. After 1 o'clock.
That's
he passed at like 3:30.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's amazing.
It's beautiful because we're all going to die. That's the only thing we
Yeah,
have promised.
exactly.
Right, literally.
Exactly.
So it's like, understanding that versus being scared of it brings comfort because it's sad no matter what. Our human is going to feel that pain.
Exactly.
But when your soul understands there's a bigger thing at play here, it's beautiful.
Yeah. And I think that's why I've latched on to horticulture so much because it is nature. It's the unknown. It's the mystery. And I just love it.
Yeah.
There's just something that feeds my soul. One, obviously you want to be like, I did that.
Yeah.
That started by a seed, and now you look at my candy roasted Northern Georgia squash. That son of a bitch looks amazing.
That name.
You know? Yeah, oh, God. We're holding off for Thanksgiving to open that
my
thing.
God.
But that's why I found, and I was never into it. I was never into it. And, you know, my mom was a gardener, my grandmother, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just did something. It
Like
does
God
something.
is in nature.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
without going to church and trying to find
Yep.
God that way, you've connected with nature,
Exactly.
with bees.
Yeah.
Like, everything has a job. Everything. It's just.
It's an ecosystem that all feeds off of each other.
Right.
And I remember saying this summer, I'm talking about bees with some guy, and he probably thought I was a nutcase.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but this is why the bees are so important.
Yeah.
And they do this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
And if you don't do this, this is going to happen. And
My hobby this summer was literally watching the bumblebees crawl inside these little bellflowers.
and get the
Clean up their
pollen.
butts.
Yeah.
Clean
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
And
I'll take pictures of it.
Yeah.
On my phone.
I go
Right,
even
I mean-
woo-woo deeper, and I'm like,
Yeah.
the butterflies and the bees literally transfer information
Yeah.
into these
I
plants.
mean,
this is like, it's
a
sacred.
possibility,
It's
That's
yeah.
so cool. That's so cool.
It's amazing because we just think, oh, it's just a bug. No,
No.
that
there
is
obviously has to be a grander
whole-
purpose. Yeah.
I think there has to be. There has to be, and we'll find out one day, obviously, you know, and
And then we'll be like, oh, I want to go back to Earth
Yeah.
because now I get it.
Yeah.
Then we come back in and we forget all of it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think that's just the cool part with grief is sad and it's scary and it's, you know, you get to some of your lowest points because, but there is a beauty and I'm going to go back to grieving my whole life. Yes, it has sucked on so many levels, but the beauty is starting to show a little bit.
Yeah.
And now it's, what do I do with that?
Yeah, you're learning about you through grieving you.
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
amazing.
Right.
That's exactly what's happening. And but it's just easy to say. I have OCD. That's what I just tell people. You know, obviously.
No.
Yeah.
Not everyone can get to this level of depth.
Right.
Yeah.
And I really hope this conversation opens up
Totally.
people's minds to be
Yeah.
able to see how deep internally we can go and,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and find ourselves
And what that opens up.
through our
and-
pain.
Mhm.
Like, we think we're just gonna, our spiritual awakening is gonna be this la da da,
Yeah.
light and love, and it's
Yeah.
like, no, it's fucking dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you light that candle for yourself,
Exactly.
and then
Exactly.
find your way through.
Yep. So I got that candle. It's burning the hell out of me. The second, the wax is everywhere.
Yeah.
But no,
It's lit.
we're getting there. It's lit.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's lit, and don't can't see a few feet in front of me though.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was thinking this the other day. I was driving through the fog and I was like, why is it that we trust that the road's going to unfold beyond this fog?
Yeah.
We just keep driving. We just trust that. But when life isn't showing you the next step, we stop.
Yep.
Like, I'm not going to stop mid-highway and be like, but I can't see.
Exactly.
Like, you know that road's going to unfold.
Right.
So why not do the same thing for
I
yourself?
love that. Yeah.
That's a wonderful way to wrap everything up, I think.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Shoot.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
sharing
guys.
the story.
I'm so proud of you too, and this
you
has
too,
been
Jay.
awesome.
Yeah, you are a soldier. Just going through your addictions that's someone's entire life battle, and you have added and opened up so much more. But also coming back to seeing that was a part of the things you're going through now, the self-medicating, and so thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you for this.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Mwah.
This was great.
Wow. Yeah, I can't wait to edit this and get this
I will be
out.
proud to say that I was going to ask you to X this out to make sure it was recording, and I did not.
Listen.
I know, I stared at that, and then do you want to know what I did? I stared at it, I was like, I can't see that it says recording. What if we didn't hit start recording?
We were talking about this fucking reassurance. I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to trust that I did it, because I looked.
Yeah, I learned a lot from this.
Jay, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
This was amazing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Love you lots.
Love you guys. That
Drop
was...
for the cord.